Welcome to Inspiring Investors Podcast, the show where we dive into the journey of our most inspiring figures in the world of business, investment, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Sadaf Abbas from Oak Business Consultant, and today we have a truly special guest joining me, and he is Jernej Academic. So, Jernej, tell me about yourself, career, and your journey from your entrepreneurships to serving an advisor and investor.
Yeah, hello, Sadaf. Thank you for having me on this podcast. I'm glad to join. I'm hopefully I can give value to your podcast, and you have wide audience. So my name is Jernej Adamic. I'm actually originally from Slovenia, but I've been living on different places for the last 10 years. I've been entrepreneur for at least 15 years or so, starting with a small advertising agency. Then I moved more to the startup world, where we started a startup in Amsterdam in 2014. After that, after exiting the startup, actually during the Corona times, I moved more to assisting to the startups with US venture called Startup Junkie. In between, I started to work also with the venture capital. And lately, I've been moving more and more actually to private equity, debt capital, helping project actually to get funded. So actually, it's been quite a journey for the last 15 years with a lot of in and outs, with a lot of excitement, with a lot of great times, with a lot of course, challenging times. So I'm glad today if I can wrap up this experience actually and to help entrepreneurs and people actually who want to go to the road of the business or are already in the road of the business to help them actually find or let's say improve a little bit their knowledge and understanding where they are and how to move forward.
So, congratulations on your role as managing partner, Norwegian Capital Limited. Can you provide some insight into the work you do there and impact you aim to achieve?
I mean, the set Never Join Capital is a wrap up of our activities or of my past activities. For moving to actually from being entrepreneur, which is I would say the most challenging or one of the most challenging let's say positions that you can actually be in your professional career to let's say more calm waters of the providing the capital. And Nevogen Capital was actually established with two of my great partners, actually to help good projects getting funded. So what we, besides that, or what we do, we help companies who want to get sold or who are looking for the buyer. We help them to prepare or to be better prepared actually to find the buyer. On the other side, we help, let's say, individuals or investors or managers who are buying companies to find good companies, and we actually help them also to if they are needing additional funds or either needing debt capital or investments, we help them actually to get this capital. The third, let's say, pillar of our activities is helping companies, small companies, SMEs, startups, and also large companies actually to get funds for different kind of purposes, but mostly for the purposes actually of, let's say, building new products, improve the products, getting to the new markets, and similar. But the major, let's say, idea behind Nevogen Capital is matching good projects with the capital who is looking for the good projects.
With your background in psychology and executive coaching, how do you approach the human element in business and investment? And feel free to share the case where the understanding human behavior was key to successful investment decision.
Yeah, I mean, I studied psychology. I have a master's in psychology, which, but I never actually worked in psychology per se. But psychology, I think it's great. I call it more like a meta science, or and also a tool that, of course, helps you to understand human, or it gives you a framework to better understand human self, personality, the human, but also, the groups, smaller groups, what is happening in these groups, dynamics of the groups, dynamics of the personality. So if the psychology itself and the frameworks inside the psychology helps me better understand how the person is behaving, what is person's reactions, recognize more easy to recognize the patterns behind it, and then recognize what's going inside of the, let's say, company, what's going inside of the decision making of the company's CEOs, how the companies, what are the relations between the people, how the dynamics between the people in the company is. So it really helps you to better understand and to better shape your behavior towards when you interact with people inside of companies, with investors, with CEOs, with employees. It helps you to easier understand such things. So it's hard to give you a case because once you apply psychology, it's ongoing process, which actually helps you
Totally
to understand. Yeah.
So I believe in this persona that we need to understand the human behavior through the personality, because when you have the investor or you are the CEO or you have a team member, so you need to understand their behavior through their personality. So psychology is a very good thing. I think so you have done very well to learn about this,
Right.
Jernej. Yeah, you have yeah. You have had a rich and varied career. If you could offer one piece of unconventional advice to aspiring investors or entrepreneurs, what would be? And why is it different from the typical advice people receive?
Uh, Today we have so many advices. It's really hard, I think, to find something that is
Yeah.
unconventional. uh, I can only provide an advice that, today we're constantly told how to behave, what to do, how to live our lives. You have all these advices. But I think from my side, the best advice would be actually try to find what thrills you, what you really like, how you want to spend your life, what do you want to achieve, and in a way stick to it. Of course, be flexible. But some people are more thrilled to be like family people. Some people are more thrilled to have a jobs, but also live or focus more on their hobbies. And some are more like, let's say, entrepreneurial, or some like combinations of all this. I think everybody for themselves have to figure out how they want to spend their lives, what they want to do, and stick to that, regardless to what the opinion of society or the opinion of people around them, or let's say the pressure from wherever it's coming from. I think everybody should be pretty much honest to themselves, where they fit in the society and what they want to do. And my advice would be stick to that and try to make something out of it.
So come to the point is that you need to listen your inner self first. Be honest
Exactly.
and do, yeah,
Exactly. Be honest.
perfect. Be honest. So, in your diverse career, you have interacted with individuals from different cultures and backgrounds. Could you share a story that cross-culture business interaction that taught you valuable lessons about effective communication and relationship building?
I think that actually interacting or being part of the multicultural environment is one of the most fun part, and also the most demanding part of, let's say, everybody who is dealing with that, because we're talking so many languages, and this is of course usually the first obstacle in the business environment, actually, because we have to find a common language for interaction. But beyond that, there's a lot of cultural differences that actually matter in the business. So I met a lot of business people or the companies or CEOs, representatives going to the foreign markets, failed there, and they didn't understand what was the reason for the failure. And usually the reason of the failure is exactly that they didn't understand actually the other culture. They thought their culture is usually only one, and with this approach, they can actually move mountains. But this is not the case. I mean, usually the cultural differences are those who actually usually make things not happen, and I can say that my advice would be that every time you know that you're dealing with environment where there are multiple cultures, many cultures, you have to understand the cultures, you have to learn about the cultures, you have to interact, you have to be open towards the other cultures, and of course understand the process, how to interact with other parts, other peers, and while it's super challenging because it gets you out of your comfort zone, it also gets you very much in the learning process. And if you're open to learn, actually, it's amazing opportunity actually to make your life richer, more open, and it's I think interacting with other cultures is one of the best part of actually my job.
Awesome. So I believe that cross-culture or multinational companies or the startup who has different kind of team members and from different cultures, it basically enriched the whole organization. And it also
Absolutely.
it is also create a whole place to interact with different kind of people. So you need to understand their values so you can accommodate them as well properly. So yes, this is
Absolutely.
a good thing. This is a good thing. Especially I see that in the startups as well that the one person is living in Philippines, second person living in India, and third person living maybe USA or Europe. So usually the startup companies having a cross culture, you can say, opportunity to all employees. So beyond your
Absolutely.
professionally achievement journeys, can you share a hobby or interest that you are truly passionate about, and how does this personal passion influence your approach to investment advising?
Well, to be honest, actually, I think for the last 15 years, my hobby is
Mm,
actually my job. I like to keep it this way because if I like what I do, and this is actually my hobby, I'm more passionate, and it keeps me going. So I find the purpose easier if what I do is also my hobby itself. But of course, I mean, I have hobbies like I cherish nature more and more. I go to nature a lot. I do sports. I do readings. I go out with friends, with family. So the usual stuff. But I would absolutely say that I don't have anything above what I do actually that I really super dedicate my time.
so it's me you are what you are doing basically it's you are enjoying that time so you are making that work as a hobby as well. Same goes to me.
Exactly.
I love my work to do the number cruncher. So when I'm doing the numbers and I when I do the creating the whole financial model, so it's really give me the buzz. Basically, I love that work, so I don't need to have a separate hobby for that. I totally agree with this, Jonas, that when you're
Great to hear.
enjoying your work, this has become your hobby. Okay, Janesh,
Exactly.
we would love to hear about your personal goal and aspiration you are currently working towards, whether it's related to your career, personal life, or new challenges you are taking on.
I mean, regarding the challenges, I mean, they always come, even when you don't expect them, just like either they come from the personal source or the professional source, but challenges are there. My goals, I mean, at the moment, I'm working with Nevagen 90%, Nevagen is there. So, of course, the goal is actually to make this company running, to be valuable part in the, let's say, capital providing project facilitating environment. One thing that I'm personally working on at the moment is actually it's related to psychology, but it's how to rewire my brain actually. Just because the world is out there, the objective world is out there, but the big picture, how happy we are, how we function, is the perception of this, and our brain usually plays a lot of games with us. Even if something is good, we perceive it as bad, or sometimes we don't see the threats and the challenges out there just because we are wired differently. So I try to, in a way, I'm making a little bit of experiments of myself, how actually I can rewire my brain to stay positive even in the challenging world. When the brain should usually go into the panic or you feel bad or something like that, I try to find the strategies and tactics and how to rewire this into the better things. It also goes with addictions, like sometimes you are a little bit addicted to something, and I try to figure out how to get out of these addictions easily, or on an easier way. So this is the moment I'm doing. I'm experimenting with myself, actually.
Absolutely, you are basically exploring yourself and do the brain wiring. This is the thing. This is a new study we have come so far, that you can change your brain through your strategies, through your hobbies. And again, brain basically works through the results. If you want to have something, then the brain is releasing dopamine. So always brain is working somehow differently to have something to get the satisfaction. So this is the human nature, we all know. But the main thing is that the soul is different, Jernej. Soul is having a different path. They don't need to satisfy yourself. So main thing, the happiness is coming from the soul, and then this happiness is going to the mind. We need to give cater properly. Okay, this is we are having the results. So yes, I already have done my experiences in the brain wiring as well, and believe me, it is very effective. It is very effective. So
Good
finally,
to hear.
Janish, yeah. Finally, Janish, we would love to hear about your mentor or role model who has led a last impact on your career. Can you share a story?
I mean, along the way, you get a lot of like mentors and role models.
Hmm.
But I think my generation actually, I mean, I became to the tech like early 2000, a little bit before that, or a little bit after that. I think our role model at that time, and I think in a way still is, it was Steve Jobs. Uh, but just because Steve Jobs at the time meant that he opened up aspiration to the entrepreneurial world. He was super passionate about getting entrepreneurs to do something what they like and stuff like that, and go to the doing or going to the perfecting this, trying to do something better for humanity, trying to develop a better product for humanity. And I think somebody like Steve Jobs is really missing today. We don't see a father figure, entrepreneurial father figure like this. So I would think that not just me, but my generation at that time was actually super influenced by Jobs.
Perfect. So, Janish, one more thing I need to ask from you, that when you are evaluating the startups through the pitch deck, what key elements do you want to found in the pitch deck? What key elements you want to see in the pitch deck for your decision making?
I mean, it's three T's: it's traction, team, or technology. You like to see as much of this in the pitch deck, so that you have somebody with relevant technology or something that brings a lot of innovation there, or somebody, of course, with attraction or a great team. So we usually focus on these things, but I think the most very important thing is also the team knows what they're doing. We see a lot of teams that, in a way, they're doing something, and I was just like the same at the beginning of my road. But in a way, to be honest, too many teams or too many startups actually are not they're having an idea, but they don't test the idea out there. They don't test the idea on the market with the users, with potential users, and stuff like this. And if we sense that this is happening, I mean, we try to talk with the team, to get or to give them a little bit like second opinion and give them the idea that they should develop the product for the customers, but not for themselves. So I think this is, if you sense this, then this is immediate no, right? If you sense that there is like a lot of potential for the product, but the team is not there or something is not there, try to assist to the team. But if you find amazing startup, then it's I mean, this makes us really always happy, to see something like with a lot of potential, and the team knows what to do, and they're in the right direction. So this is really, I mean, this is one of the great aha moments of this job.
So the conclusion is that the teams, the experience, and the technology and the market adoption with the attractions, right?
You're right. Right.
So, Janice, what is your next target in this year? Means how many thing that you will fund it for the investment? What is your target to achieve in this year and next year?
Honestly, no target per se, because we want. I mean, the good projects are going to be there. We will be able to assist them. If we were able to find good projects, we will be able to assist them. But we don't have. I mean, we work really on the relationship based. We don't work on the like mass market. So the quality matters way more than quantity.
Okay. So, what is your targeted market for the investment?
At the moment, we have in the pipeline, or let's say our clients are between $500,000 up to $100 million. There are different projects, you know. So it really depends. We don't have. I mean, we like to work more with a little bit more mature companies. But this doesn't exclude we don't work with like early stage startup or something like that. You know? So the moment for us, it's really more important that the teams or the companies that come to us know what they need us, you know, exactly what is our value proposition, how we can help them, and that the projects are good. So the biggest problem is actually having to say no to the project that you see they're not good. So it doesn't make sense actually to really to continue, or it would be better for them to pivot than just like being stubborn on some field and nothing's really happening.
So that is my last question. What advice can you give to your to our audience for in respect for the investment and business decision making?
I mean, I would go back to advice, just do whatever is great for you, whatever you find or where you find your passion in, and the good things usually happen, you know. Just like be passionate, be open, even if, let's say, the business environment at the moment is hard, if it can be personally challenging, but keep going. So try to figure out what really works for society, what really works for your audience, what works for you, and keep doing that.
Perfect. Thank you, Janish, for this, for your time, and thank you, audience, for you as well. Thank you, Janish.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.